Episode 111 of the Wilderness Podcast is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. Support the show at patreon.com/The Wilderness Podcast. Our supporter of the week is Ty Piers. We're also brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/wild to get a free month and a free audiobook. Welcome to episode 111 of the Wilderness Podcast, the Triple Ones. I am your host, Dilz, and with me is Deagin.
Hey guys, how's it going?
So we actually have some news to talk about this week. I guess more than usual. Jagex releases 3 new portals in the player-owned house. The Dragon Hunter crossbow gets a recolor, changes to the rune pouch, and birds' nests with some other goodies tied into that dev blog. Basically, everything that got pulled a week or 2 ago is coming out. Information on the next live event, I guess, the PvP All-Stars Championship, which is just around the corner. So we got some more information on that as well. Jagex is holding a player workshop at their headquarters. Ayiza makes a post on the subreddit to get some feedback on a few topics that the team has been discussing. And everybody's favorite client, Runelite, gets a new interesting plugin. And as always, before we get into that, Deagin, how was your week? What did you do?
Yeah, my week was pretty good, I guess. Spoiler, I logged on to RuneScape for like 30 minutes and then got off. That's it. I did like no RuneScape this week.
Oh no, what's happening? Is it World of Warcraft?
No, this game is just, honestly, well, I mean, I guess we'll talk about it more in the updates, but slowly just leaving a bad taste in my mouth.
Uh-oh, that's not good to hear.
Yeah, I don't know. I've also just been busy with work and all that stuff. Yeah, I've been playing Warframed, so that takes up a lot of time as well, but...
That's where it is. It's the goddamn Warframe.
Not really, because I don't even, really want to play that game. I just, really don't want to play RuneScape right now. I guess I'll complain about it when we talk about the updates more, but, this is the part where I can foresee some bad things for the game. This is when I'm, ready to jump ship, if I'm being honest. Maybe I'm just in, a weird headspace this past week about the game. There's been, a lot of unsettling things I've been seeing, and,
Oh, that's interesting. I feel like I'm out of the loop. I feel like I'm missing something.
Yeah. So I guess real life related, just been working a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I was talking to someone, and I had the dread. This is the one thing I hate when people ask is, hey, Deagin, so what do you do? What do you, what are your hobbies?
What do you do for fun? I hate that question. What do you do for fun?
I don't want to be I like RuneScape. I don't want that to be number one. I know a lot of people don't care, but,
they're trying to find something interesting, I'm into calligraphy.
Yeah, something, that's different.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You like drawing?
Nobody wants...
writing, I guess, but yeah, no one wants
I watch TV. I play. You know what I mean? It's just everyone does that.
It's for me specifically, if you ask what am I into, I don't do anything interesting, so I just don't like answering that question in general. The most interesting thing is, I do a podcast. About what? A video game? Oh, that's interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a fun fact, I guess, but I don't do anything super interesting, but
HEMA. What about HEMA?
Even then,
pick up swords and fight people.
Even then, I mean, I probably should have said that. I didn't think about that until because we couldn't do it this week. I was pissed.
True.
Just because the weather.
Snowstorm. The snow's here.
Yeah, and I don't think my buddy that I go with wanted to go. I just don't think he was into it. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, I guess that would have been better. But I always just give very non-answers. Honestly, nothing special. Just games, movies. I'm not a big into drinking or partying. I'm not I don't do any of that stuff.
Well, I think
right?
the worst answer you can give is I like hanging out with friends.
But even then, I rarely do that.
But I'm when people say that, it's just it's kind of a conversation killer. At least if it's movies, you can be oh, what's your favorite movie? And then it's
yeah.
Oh, true. I've never heard of any of those movies. Or
I mean, I really do like movies.
I can't watch movies too often. It's just I can't sit down for like 2 hours. I mean, I can if I'm playing RuneScape, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
My only issue is if I talk about movies, I get like I don't even know if I do, but I feel like I come off as snobby because it's like I don't like action movies. I like dialogue, slow burning dramas and thrillers. You know, like it comes off as like, dude, this guy's an asshole.
I like movies from the 50s.
What's your favorite movie? There Will Be Blood. What's that? You've never heard that movie? Oh my god!
Yeah, I've never heard that movie.
It's a fucking sick movie. It's so good. Yeah. So this lady, she's very nice. She's like, I'm assuming the same age as us. I don't really know.
True.
A lot of new people I'm meeting at work, right? And she's like, and it was pretty slow in the store. She's like, oh, so what do you do? And I'm like, insert like 20 non-answers, right? Like I don't answer.
But if it's a lady, you gotta impress them, so you gotta drop some bombs.
Yeah, but then she's like, okay. And so she says like something along the lines of, okay, so I assume you play video games.
Nice, that's
and
good.
I was like, yeah. And she's like, well, what kind of games? I kind of play whatever in general. Like I do stick to RuneScape pretty hard, but like this week I haven't really played it. But like usually like each episode I'm like playing another game alongside with RuneScape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I kind of hop around a lot and I'll get into like WoW and stuff. And I just kind of like skirted the question, just, you know, typical stuff. And she's like, okay, well, like, do you play WoW? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, like I'll play like RuneScape and stuff, you know. But I'm not like super, like, I don't only play one game. I kind of just play whatever my buddies are playing. But when I said like, oh yeah, I play RuneScape, she like stopped and rolled her eyes. And she's like, my boyfriend does that, and all he does is mine rocks. And I'm just like, yeah, that's a good description, I guess. All right.
What a sweet guy. See, I can't even, if someone is like, what do you do? I can't even say, oh, I game. What do you game? Okay, sorry, I should say I only play RuneScape. I scape.
Yeah.
You'll talk to someone who's a big gamer, and they're like, oh, you play video games? What games do you play? I'm like, I play game. And there's a good chance you don't play it. So I can't even be like, oh, how's that new Red Dead? Oh, love Red Dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, yeah, I play one. I watched YouTube videos on Red Dead, so I kind of know what's going on.
Yeah, you watch a feminist gets eaten alive by alligators and left on a train track.
No,
it's YouTube drama. There's like this YouTuber who like,
this is YouTube drama or is this shit you can do in the game?
Yeah, I mean both.
YouTube?
There's like this YouTuber who's super fucking like, he comes off as like he just doesn't like women.
True.
But he like kind of clickbaits it. He's got a series on brutalizing feminists in Red Dead. Brutalizing? That's probably the wrong word.
It's pretty aggressive.
He kills them in like brutal ways, but it's a really weird series. It's
Wait, are there feminists in the like NPC feminists?
Yeah, because like suffrage and stuff, like women rights,
Okay.
like they deserve the right to vote. Like you'll have women in towns like chanting that, and
True.
you'll like tie him up, drag him behind a horse, feed him to alligators. But like
Interesting.
he got a YouTube account banned, and everyone was like, "Wow, you can't even make YouTube videos about a game." I don't know. This is really weird, like drama stuff going on. I was just making it like a joke.
So out of the loop.
Yeah.
There's YouTube drama everywhere.
What were we talking about
Video games?
before that?
RuneScape? You're at work.
I don't know.
Talk about what you like to do.
I'm not too sure, but all I know is I fucking hate Black Friday. It is the worst.
Yeah.
Like.
Worse for retail.
It's absolutely brutal. Like, our store is super small. I came in one day, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I have like a 5-hour shift. It's not bad. I start working, and it's just like, oh, no, okay, hold on, wait, sorry, let me back up. So I was opening with my assistant manager, okay? And we're at a mall.
Okay.
So it gives some more context on why I hate Black Friday. But as I go there, the mall is like just open, but none of the stores are opened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The kiosks or whatever have to open up, like they open up later on. But as I'm approaching, I get off the bus, I'm like walking, and there's a fucking lineup outside of the mall.
Sick.
And I'm like, what is going on? And so as I'm like walking to the place, I'm just like walking alongside this mall and like this crowd. And like, I'm pretty much in the center of the mall. And I'm like, so I'm following this crowd. And it leads to like a Disney store, which is like right by, like it's right across from where I work pretty much.
Okay.
And there's just like just a bunch of people there's like people with tents, people with camping chairs, and they're all waiting in line at Disney. And it's like a fucking huge lineup.
What do they sell there that's worth waiting?
Oh, I'll tell you because I found out.
Frozen stuff?
No, that's a couple years past. So I go in and I'm like, what's been going on? And my manager's just like, people were here like last night lining up. Like people stayed the night trying to get in the mall when it opened this morning. People like camped out and waited for this thing at Disney. And we weren't really sure what it was. They're all adults, obviously, right? They're all like 40-year-old overweight people.
Well, also Christmas is kind of around the corner, so maybe people are trying to get a jump start on those Christmas presents for their kids.
Would you really stay overnight outside of a mall to get a jump start?
Well, what is it? What are they waiting for? Did you find out?
So, as we're about to open, you just hear the mall chanting, "We want Mickey! We want Mickey!" And everyone's chanting it in this line.
Huh.
So then I look it up, and there's like a limited edition Mickey Mouse thing that they're selling, that they were selling that day.
Okay.
Just look up like November 2018 Mickey Mouse, and it's like the shittiest looking Mickey Mouse. It's like this weird brown color that like kind of looks like with this shitty like futuristic robotic-esque like pattern on its clothes.
Okay, so it's like an old school looking Mickey Mouse, $24.95.
It looks so stupid.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, it was fucking like hectic. Like they would only let like certain amount of people, and I don't know. It was, I've never like experienced that except for like Halo 3, but I'm outside of an EB game / GameStop, depending where you're from.
I've always wanted to go to one of those midnight releases. It looks fun. I mean, they don't really happen. I don't know if they probably do as a throwback.
But even then, like, I did it for Halo 3, but I was just like, it like came out at midnight, but I was just there in the morning the next day.
Yeah.
As it opened, the lineup was long.
But it looks like a fun event when I've seen pictures of it where people are just like waiting for the midnight release. And it would
imagine being right in front of the mall entrance with the tent. You sleep there overnight, you wake up an hour early so you can pack your tent up. You either have to bring it with you or you get someone else to grab the tent from you and take it home. And then you bring your chair, but then the doors open, you have to run to the store first. Like, they're in line to run to the first spot. You know what
dangerous.
I mean? And then you sit there and you wait 3 hours. And then, I mean, it's not the worst, but like, Jesus, come on. Like,
yeah, that's
I don't know. I don't understand it. It was weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and then there was like a million people in the store, and 2 people came in late, so I stayed back 2 hours to like cover for them. I got like 2 more weeks of this. So we have like 2 weeks of all this bullshit.
Way more than that, because then Christmas sales are gonna happen.
Oh yeah. No, it's gonna be awful.
And then Boxing Day.
Yep, that'll suck.
Fun.
Yeah. Anyways, what'd you do this week?
Yeah, I didn't get too much RuneScape playing either. I dropped my master clue because I'm just blowing through that money trying to get the crafting, and just haven't been doing too much bossing. Like, I have a Daggin task that I haven't been able to do because it's kind of getting close to the end of my semester at school, and I'm getting a lot of work dropped on us. I've been doing a lot of wood cutting, and I just figured, you know what, I'll probably just gun towards 99 wood cutting. I'm at 97 now, and because I just do redwoods while I'm working on schoolwork. I probably should get it sooner than later. That's going to be my next 99, though. And then I get to choose my next AFKing 99.
Fishing?
Fishing. Yeah, I'm not too sure, because I got fletching, I got cooking. Fishing is like the next safe one. But I don't know. Those skills are nice because, yeah, if you're just say you're too tired to do any PVMing and you just want to kick back and watch some Netflix or something, they're perfect because you barely have to interact and whatnot. Yeah, it's just good. And I got this new job where I mentioned, I think last week, where I'm like basically babysitting like 100 kids.
Yeah.
And can be crazy. But on the weekdays, it's pretty slow. And my bosses are pretty cool. And they just say like, yeah, bring your schoolwork in if you're working the weekday, because it's pretty slow and you're going to want to have to kill some time for some bit. Like, you're just a lot of sitting around. So that's where like wood cutting and stuff is perfect. Like, if you're doing a Daggin task, you don't want to have to teleport out every like couple minutes because of something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll focus on that, and then I don't know. But yeah, I dropped my master clue and saving up for my next master clue, I guess.
Yeah.
That's basically it. It's been a slow week. I've just been busy with that type of stuff.
News?
Yeah, let's jump into the news. Let's see what we got going on this week.
All right, so starting off, we have some new POH portals. So we now have the Garok, the Karlanger, and the Catherby portals.
Garok is like west of the KBD layer. Like, I think it's like just south of the obelisk. It's right around that obelisk, though. The obelisk teleport. I like to use it when I'm going to the Chaos Altar or if I'm going to KBD. Because a lot of people use the Burning Amulet, but it can be a hotspot for PKers because of people going to the Rev Cave. So I do the Garok teleport. It's just, I don't know, I've never had a problem doing it. And then Karalangar brings you to the Graveyard of Shadows in between level 16 to 21 Wilderness. Never used that one, to be honest.
Yeah, I know Pures will teleport there, and Green Dragon Killers.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And then there's Catherby, which is, good old Catherby.
Yep.
Little fishing town.
Yep. You can add these portals to your POH for 100 times the rune cost. So 100 casts or whatever, and you can add them to your portal.
What do you think? These are okay to have? Any issues with any of them? Any qualms?
Yeah, but they're already in the game, so I can't really.
Well, what are the issues with that?
It gets worse. So we also have them added to our portal nexus for 1,000 times the rune cost.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense.
Along with that, so in response to player feedback, secondary destinations such as the GE will now be listed under their parent destinations in the teleport menu for the nexus. And the first list of teleports in the nexus has been ordered by level and spellbook.
Okay.
Yeah, they reorganized it, bring it up to snuff, I guess, with the diaries.
Did you have issues with these teleports? Because I feel like we already have the one to the demonic ruins.
So this is my issue, and it's that thought process. And I've talked about this way back, year plus, is that I don't want to call it power creep, but it's really weird quality of life where it's unnecessary to the point where
it's nice to have though.
So it's we can already go to 99, strength. Why can't we just train it to 100? Let's just add one level to everything. Okay, well, why not 109? It's that idea of we already have this. Let's just take it a step further. But it's gone to the point now where the POH is just grossly overpowered. And sure, quote unquote rune sync stuff you can buy from magic shops are getting taken out of the game.
1,000 times.
Isn't that much,
but it is if you're doing it for it's quite a bit. 1,000 costs, so it's 1,000. It's
1,000 law runes.
Yeah,
1,000 fire runes.
Yeah, so it's
3,000 air runes. That's not
300k or so.
It's not that much.
It's not a whole lot, but when you're doing it for how many teleports? 10?
It's still
at least.
So taking money out of the game and then giving some ridiculous quality of life thing if it's for one specific thing.
Well, we already have the teleport tabs, and I'm not saying if it has a teleport tab it deserves a portal. Arceus, probably not. Probably leave all those
but
as their own. I don't even think those should have tele tabs, but whatever they do. But these I can kind of I don't know. It's
so if you look at the big picture of everything, it was remember back in the day when you had to run to Barrows? Sure, it was annoying, but it made Barrows way more, valuable.
Yeah.
And how many uses did it have? They all had, a small little spot, right?
Yeah, generally, they all have their own uses. Verax is mainly used for bossing. Guthins is, more just random PVM and Slayer stuff.
Carol's is PVM.
But you don't, except for the crossbow, which you could use, people did use it for PvP a lot.
Aram's PvP.
And PVM as well. But it's not the whole set,
just the top and bottom.
Top and bottom. Same with Carol's, top and bottom. Torag's, it's budget defensive gear.
Well, the helmet used to be whoo.
Yeah,
the helmet used to be
it's still used in PvP.
Yeah,
by tanks.
Yeah, but it's what 100k. That's cheap.
100k.
So the main thing is that
then Darox is for power training your skills.
Yeah. So the main thing is that people complained on it's such a pain to get to Barrows. So, but then they add a teleport with a teleport tab, and then I could see it in 2 years from now. You can add POH because fuck it, that's weird. How come we have every other spell book but not Arceus and the POH? fuck it, we should have that. Like, I feel like when I first started to worry about it, I thought like, it's gonna happen like a year or two from now. I'm not too worried. And then like now I'm really starting to see some of it happen where it's weird. Like the Portal Nexus, I was kind of like, yeah, you know what, that's not that bad. But then I started to like think about it, and it's like, well, how did the Portal Nexus get put into the game?
Because people just clogged up their house with teleports.
And why did that get put in the game?
Well, a lot of them have already been in the game, right? They maybe added lunars.
Okay, no, but like, why do we have so many portals in our POH? Because like construction was considered like a waste of a skill, so then they started to add these.
Portals have been around for a long time, though. That's not a new thing added to the POH. They've been around since like when it was first released.
So they did a big POH revamp.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they've done that
added
since.
Like pools, regen pools, and like all this
fairy
stuff.
rings, the tree,
and that was added because there wasn't much value to construction.
Not really. You had the gilded altar, and then I guess some of the portals. But even still, like, it's kind of easier to just teleport with the tabs. And for the most part, it still kind of is, unless you just want to bring a house teleport, and then you have multiple options. But it's still, if you can, it's still faster to use teleport tabs.
Yeah, of course, but it's not the best because inventory space without a hot PVM. I don't know. I guess my issue is that I spent so much time grinding for a lot of things. Maybe it's a me thing. Where like, this will be nice quality of life. This will be nice quality of life. That like, there isn't a challenge to the game at all. Which means like I'm starting to get that feeling that like I kind of want to just quit and make an Iron Man.
A lot of people do that, but I feel like the challenge, it's shifted a lot. And now it's like comes like even like if you look at PVM content, it's like
Jagex is a joke.
It's hard.
Not after like 300 times.
Well, no, of course not. Nothing's hard after 300 times. Then you got Theater of Blood. You know what I mean? There's hard mode, Chambers of Xeric, there's the Inferno.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these things come through. You have to be actually skilled now.
If I want to do Inferno, like I have to grind a lot of, not just for like a T-bow, but there are like, I will do with at least Justicar, you know what I mean? Or Jujici or Justicar, however you want to pronounce it, for my armor. Which is like, I guess it's only 70 mil. I could probably sell off a lot of stuff in my bank and start doing Inferno grinds.
But that's like the end. That's literally the last thing people do. You know what I mean? It's the
not
final
at all.
PVM content.
It's the hardest, but it's not like literally the last thing you should do.
Not the last thing you should do, but once you've done that, it's the hardest thing in the game by far.
Yeah. So Theater of Blood, it's challenging, but you need a group of people to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my problem right there.
So now you want solo Theater of Blood?
No. So Xerix is boring. I just find it, like, I just don't enjoy it. I just find it's really boring.
Well, after 300 times, it loses its charm a bit, but it's still a hard piece of content.
If you've never done it, or you're inexperienced, or like whatever, but like, if you act like, so when I play games and stuff in general, or like anything online, I guess, I really like to try and, or just anything. Okay, good examples is off topic. And like, for like you science guys, I'm going to sound so stupid, but I was like playing Warframe. Well, actually I got on RuneScape and I was just like, I don't want to play this game. So I got off and I got on Warframe, and like, you just turn your brain off and shoot stuff.
Yeah.
It's RuneScape, but Destiny. It's just, you're grinding, just endless grind.
Yep.
With no challenge. You turn off your brain, and I was just like thinking, I don't know what triggered this thought process, but I was trying to think like I know why the Earth has seasons, because of like the axial tilt.
Sure.
And then obviously like the Earth rotates in a circle, but then it orbits. But then I'm like, okay, so why does the Earth have an axial tilt? And like, that's like if you spun like a dreidel or like a coin, you know how like it spins perfectly, but then eventually it's kind of like wonky.
Yeah.
That's like the axial tilt. And I'm like, okay, well, why does it have an axial tilt? And I was like, because like, I don't know about you, but I mean, I guess about like for you, we only learned about like space stuff, any of that stuff, like in grade 6 for me. That's the only like knowledge I can pull from that and stuff I learned online.
Sure.
And I was like, I actually don't understand this at all. Like, what exactly affects it? So then I sat down for like 3 hours today trying to like understand why. And thankfully, I have a buddy who's like super into that shit. He's a big space nerd. And so I like he jumps in Discord as I'm looking through this, and like he's able to explain it to me pretty well. And we have like a good like 2-hour conversation. I'm like asking questions, like I want to like I want to know this, so I'm gonna like put a lot of effort into learning it and trying to figure it out. Like I kind of apply that mindset to like random stuff, so like video games, like any competitive online game. Like the joy I get from a game is like the learning process. And like RuneScape, like I did Jagex for like 6 months straight because at the time I really did enjoy like the shaman room because I had no idea what I was doing, right? And I'm like struggling to like do the room, and like, okay, so standing near the wall, shoot like this, move at these times. Oh, whoa! I didn't know you can actually save spot. Like there's these 3-4 different methods you can find to say, you know what I mean? I like picking apart stuff and like learning it and trying to do it as best I can. Eventually, it's kind of like, all right, well, now let me just do this 100+ more times just because I want money. But, so if I, like, and I've just done that a lot where, like, I look at my POH and I was kind of like, well, I should get 1 more construction level, 1 or 2 more levels so I can easily boost up and get the Nexus and then add every portal. Okay, there goes a couple mil. Cool. And then, like, it kind of was just like, what for? Like, it doesn't really matter. It's convenience, but, like, the only thing I'm really looking forward to right now is like saving up money for Inferno. And then what happens if I can do Inferno? Which that would probably take me a couple months to grind out. Like I'm nowhere near good enough for it. Which it would be really fun. I'm like, maybe I'll do that before I start an Iron Man. I feel like the only reason why I bring that up, I feel like these types of updates like kind of promote, like they kind of like, they give you something to grind for. But once you get it, the game becomes way easier and less like management of like what you have to do for certain things. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of expected. As you get higher levels, things should be
But not
easier.
this drastically. Like, you shouldn't get a portal nexus, and now you have unlocked, after you put in the runes, every single teleport in the game.
But you need like level 9. You need like level 92.
Well, okay, well, what about like 72 or something,
You get
right?
72, you get 4.
Yeah, that's easily doable, though.
But you still have to manage what you're going to use, and you still have to build the other portals.
So, like, in your POH, what, like, portals do you use the most? Like, I can easily list it off. Korend, Falador, Varrock.
Falador, why?
Well, if I do Cerberus, I don't want to bring teleport tabs.
True. I do Varrock the most. Yeah, easily.
But, like, 4, more than enough to get by.
Yeah, to get by, yeah, but it's like you could always have those before.
So the big goal is money, and so like, one thing that really turned me off is that I've seen a couple, because I mentioned a couple episodes how I've taken like a lot of like mobile players under like my wing, kind of heavy air quotes, because eventually they ask for money and I just block them or delete them. I mean, not many of them, but a lot of them. Well, not a lot. I think 2 of them sort of giving
2. That's a huge difference.
2 out of like the 8 people, and most of them quit. I think there's like 4 of them playing right now, so half of them. But 2 of them were like kind of giving me flack, being like, dude, why don't you just tell me I can make money through bonds? Like, they were kind of upset with me that like I didn't be like, dude, just buy bonds and you can just pay for anything.
To be fair, it's kind of right in your face. You should.
I said because I said I don't think you should buy bonds. I think that's stupid.
But Jagex really makes it easy for you to know how bonds exist.
The issue isn't that like they just didn't understand how easy it was to make money in the game. So they're like kind of mad they spent 4 hours killing cows or killing hill giants for stuff, or telegrabbing mines of Zamorak, when they could have spent, $10 and got like what, almost 4 mil.
Yeah, but if you're played any MMO enough, you should know that exists in every game, right?
But like, I don't know. It just really bugged me that like in like the little time I played RuneScape, I had the same interaction twice. And then I asked him how many bonds they bought. Dude, one guy bought 15 bonds. He's level 20.
Yeah, well.
And I'm like, do what you want to do, but like, that's so fucked up. And that happens all the time. So
it's
like,
a lot of money to drop on it, though.
So?
No, I'm just saying.
I just have like so many mixed feelings. That's like, I'm kind of like getting bored of just my account in general.
Sounds
right?
like you're in a bit of a RuneScape depression, in a bit of a rut.
I honestly want to sell off my bank, do Inferno, show my EP in a bit, and then just like restart an Iron Man. That's kind of what I'm thinking of right now.
A lot of people do that because an Iron Man brings a new style to the game. You got to figure out all these different avenues of obtaining items, and like, yeah, it's you got to figure. There's all these different strategies that normal players just gonna skip over because you don't need to. You just go to the GE, get level 41 woodcutting, go to the GE and buy one. But now you have to go obtain that axe, or you're stuck with like a mithril, whatever one you're stuck with.
Yeah.
So where do you go to get one? Are you able? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just worried that like that's gonna happen to my Iron Man eventually. Like I'm killing Calphi Queen, and it's like every 2 seconds I'm teleporting to the POH after each kill, and I'm like doing this and that. I'm like, man, this is so fucking easy and boring.
Well, I mean
maybe it's Calphi Queen. Maybe it's just Calphi Queen being a fucking.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's like a drastic teleporting to the See, I don't know why you would think being able to use a portal makes the game so much easier when you're like, well, I could also spend a day making tabs.
It's not
same shit.
It's not like just the it's like the way how it like. It's not about the portals. You know, it's not about like this one. It's not about the nail in my head. Have you seen that video on YouTube? It's about like. I want to keep making jokes about that video, but I'm not going to. It's just about the way everything gets slowly rolled out, and we'll just like continue on because like there's better ways to do it, but I don't want to sit there and be like, Jagex, you could have done this, could have done that, could have done this, could have done that, and be like, well, it's easy for you to say because you're not like actually involved in the process, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I think I've been bitching way too much. So let's just continue.
A little on edge this evening, aren't you?
Maybe. We'll go with that. I mean, like, I can't say no to that. If I've been complaining for, like, most of the podcast, it's not good.
About 3 portals.
Well, no, it's not. Never mind. I've already stated my opinion about that. No need to, like, redo it all. One thing I do like, though, is that they added a recolor to the Dragon Hunter crossbow.
A little positivity. I can dig it.
And I do like how it matches Elite Void, the best armor in the game, technically. I'm kidding. But I do have an issue. No, I'm joking.
Elite Void looks sick, though.
Oh, yeah, it looks dope. And with the crossbow, I do like how well it looks with, like, yeah, just that setup. It really looks cool. When I saw concept art of it, like, a while ago, I was like, man, it's fucking sick. Hopefully they add some sort of recoloring to add like the different dragons to it.
So wait, they've made it so it always looks like Ulm. That's interesting. I didn't know they were going to go that route. I thought they were going to.
I mean, the one thing that is is the furthest thing from a dragon that we consider a dragon is now what it looks like. But that being said, I think it's just because of
But then now are you going to make the Dragon Hunter Lance? You're going to turn that one to make it look like an Ulm coloring?
No.
But you want them to all kind of...
So my guess is that each Dragon Hunter variant is going to have the same art style from a specific popular dragon. So maybe the Lance has something to do with KBD or Vorkath, right?
That's kind of cool. I can get behind that, actually.
I honestly would have preferred, like, it not look like the Ulm, and then you could do something special and unlock variants for it.
I like that. That was a cool idea.
Yeah, but whatever. Maybe in the future they'll consider it and they'll change it. The next change, I guess, is they added a rune pouch to the Slayer rewards point shop.
Oh boy, here we go.
So 1,250 Slayer points. You can get your rune pouch.
Interesting. Yeah, we talked about it. Was it last week?
Yeah.
I kind of agree with your points. At first, I was okay with it, but then I kind of agree that it's going to be interesting to see the drop-off and what emblems are going to cost. I'm going to look it up right now.
Not even that. Like, you know what? I would have even sided with having, like, a different type of rune pouch that has the same effect. So, like, I mentioned it in the past that a rune pouch... The most annoying thing about a rune pouch is having to change the runes out. And it would be kind of cool to have to do different things to get more rune pouches, but they're set to specific spell books or something. You know what I mean? You can only bring one at a time, so you could have a rune pouch just for lunars, take on your farm runs. That would be kind of nice. Different colors, you know, like something like that, that you'd have to like do. But I think they just wanted an easier way for people / Iron Men, people who don't want to interact with, I don't know, the wilderness / GE to get their own pouch.
Fair enough. It does. I'm looking at the GE trends, and it is on a decline. November 8th, it started to drop from 150K, where it now sits at 124K.
Buy. Flip it.
Yeah,
Don't actually take that advice.
I don't flip no more for other reasons.
Yeah. The Edgeville furnace can now be used in free-to-play worlds.
Fair.
What's wrong with Falador? That was pretty iconic.
Yeah, Falador was. Maybe people just got confused because it's there and you just can't use it. I don't know.
Yeah. And then they have some planned changes. So, because everyone abuses birdhouses, the price of brews have dropped like drastically since the release of birdhouses. They're on like a 50-minute timer. So you can farm these birdhouses pretty frequently. You get a clockwork, you get whatever log, make a birdhouse, get some seeds, hop seeds, you put them in. You know, every 50 minutes you do your rotation and you get like just bird's nest with seeds and stuff in it.
Yeah.
Everyone was doing it because like it's easy experience and you make good money.
Yeah, bird's nest going for like 1.6K.
Yep.
Well, it was.
So it got the price of brews and everything got to the point where it was so low that they feel like they have to intervene. So they're gonna make an integrity change next week, and they're waiting for community feedback and a poll to go live, you know, during this week. And yeah, so to help stabilize the cost of brews, all PVM nest drops of Warcast, Aura, and Callisto will have their nest drops removed, but only Callisto will have his nest drops replaced with 30 Dragon Bones.
Ooh.
We agree that many of you, that PVM should not be the primary method of obtaining skilling resources. This should be in line with that belief.
Nice.
They also recognize Mole's niche is providing certain resources, so that will not get changed. We aim to cement the Mole's position as a main method for gathering nests via PVM and raise its falling GP per hour.
Cool. It's fair.
Yeah, so currently, like as birdhouses stand, the number of nests given is based on the house tier, and it's pretty strong. So they the houses with the lower hunter requirements compared to the levels necessary to craft them. Yeah, so people are capable of simply buying the highest tier and profiting regardless of the hunter level. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So to tackle this, they're going to make a couple of changes. The overall chance of obtaining a bird nest from houses will be lowered, and the number of nests given is now randomized based on your hunter level and your birdhouse tier.
Okay.
So those at 99 should still see a drop overall, though not one as large as those at lower hunter levels. On average, those at 89 will still get 20% fewer nests than those at 99 using redwood houses. And then some poll changes. So the hop seeds required for the bird feed are arduous to obtain in high quantities. I think the most popular method besides the GE is buying from the farm stall person and Draenor, and then master farmer pickpocketing. They're kind of a pain to get if you're like an Iron Man or you just don't want to spend your bank getting these seeds. I could be wrong though. I think that's it though.
Sounds right.
So they'll be pulling an increase in the quantity of hop seeds gained from master farmers, and they'd also like to offer giving the birds a taste for herb seeds. Each would give 1 charge, and every seed above Renar will give 2.
Cool. Stock up on that Urit.
This should reduce the number of nests gained from birdhouses and reduce the current and potential future brew pricing issues. However, it should still be a lucrative method for those training their hunter skill. They take, bouncing and integrity changes very serious, and they only intervene when it's necessary. So they're going to be keeping an eye on these changes and seeing what's good.
Good stuff. They saw a problem and they're tackling it. Now, my only problem is I fucking sold all my goddamn bird's nests that I had stocked up since before Theater of Blood dropped. I held them on. I bought them at 2.5k each. And they started going down, and I was like, you know what? They're going to go back up because everybody loves brews. And they just kept crashing all the way down to like 1.5k. So I said, fuck it. Sold it. Lost like 3 to 5 mil from it. And I was like, okay, whatever. I've just been having them sit in my bank for months, and I need the money. So I sold them like a month ago, maybe even less. And yeah, I get a message on Discord about, I hope you didn't sell your bird's nest because they're selling for like 3k right now.
Yep.
This is why I don't merch, because I always do shit like this.
Yeah, I think if you like, let's say like with the bird's nests, because I bought them around Theater. It was around Theater of Blood where I invested in some, trying to get some free herbler levels, and the prices were like they were supposed to be rising because every other supply was rising, and you bring like a lot of brews, more so than any other potion in Theater of Blood, and I'm thinking. Like, why is potions rising in price constantly and, like, super combats and ranging? And I'm like, oh, this is weird. I'm just going to sell them what I bought them at. I didn't lose any money. I got rid of them. And then I should have went and, like, looked into it heavily. But now it makes a lot of sense where, like, it's not PVM that's crashing it. It's, like, the amount of people doing birdhouses.
Yeah, 'cause it's so simple.
It's so simple. Anyone can do it. People probably have bots that just do it. They probably have just every hour they log in, do a run.
Wouldn't be surprised.
It's kind of weird the influence Jagex has on prices like doubling pretty much.
That's what's so cool about this game and the market in it, where they can have a Q&A and they'll mention something and boom, those prices either go up or they drop.
Yeah, but it's also weird that also every time this happens, you look at the purchase history and people are buying a fuck ton just before they get these updates or announcements get released. Happened again with the bird's nests. So there's someone leaking information. I want to say Ma Jed, but like
he's working from the inside.
Well, he's
got connections
inside prison.
Yeah, he's got connections.
Yeah,
this guy's like it goes deeper than we think.
Maybe he ratted the PCs at HQ.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
he's listening. He's got like hidden microphones and stuff in the bathrooms.
Yeah, I mean that's the last place you want to have a microphone, especially at Jagex HQ. But
especially now with mobile being released.
Yeah. Oh, my leg's asleep. Bloody hell! Like everyone just has red marks like just above their knees from their elbows.
I've been there.
But yeah, you can now buy the map of Gilnor on the merch store.
It looks... I want it. I kind of want to buy it.
Yeah, dude.
It looks super nice. There's a bunch of different sizes you can buy. So there's 4 different sizes out. $55, $75, $90, $120. This is all Canadian, by the way. And $120. But the map looks really good. Yeah,
but that's a little pricey. They will be adding a desk mat, an 80 by 40 centimeter desk mat. Big. So I'm hoping it's a big mouse pad because I have been to stores. They mentioned desk mats, but it's literally cloth fabric that you put on a desk, and I wouldn't call that a desk mat, but okay.
But the maps are all fair sizes.
If you buy $120, well, it's not a map; it's a poster. I think calling it a map is misleading. The posters are. I mean, like, it's not going to be like some nice fabric or like some nice type of like paper. It's just going to be like some shit that you roll up and sticky tack to your wall.
Or you get a frame for it. That's what I'm thinking. You get a nice frame for it, and boom, you got a sick looking picture on your wall.
I mean, you probably just go to a print shop with that and be like, yo, 80 by 40. So they have a 45 by 30? Is that what you're looking at right now? And how much is that? Because
this one's 55, but hey,
that's fucking small as hell.
It's not. It's not
30 centimeters. That's like a foot. Like think of a ruler.
It's not huge, but it's still a size you could put on your wall.
It's like a foot by a foot and a half.
But it's not something you put on your wall and just like I can't even. Where is it? Like
it's $50 though.
So here's the kicker. This is why you're buying it from the RuneScape store. Each print is individually hand-numbered and supplied with a certificate of authenticity.
You gonna frame that too? I don't know.
It'll be on the back of it. You keep it, and then in like 50 years from now...
You could trade it for a Beanie Baby.
Maybe. Or when RuneScape's like taken over the world... And it's like this, they got the RuneScape movie. They got like tons of RuneScape movies out.
The RuneScape live action
movies. You have all these things out. You can be like, hey, grandkids, I have an original print of Gilnor. And they'd be like, yeah, but there's like, you're missing so many of the continents. Because they're going to be adding more over the course of 50 years. I want it. I'm a sucker for this shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you got to pay for shipping. God damn it.
Oh yeah, of course. It's probably, and I mean for us, it's a bit different because like we're in Canada, but probably really expensive shipping. And also, with our Canada Post on strike, we'll just never get it.
It's printed on 100% cotton archival matte paper that has a light textured surface.
Okay, you know what?
There you go. It feels like
That's better, but I'm still not gonna spend $50.
No, this one's 120.
Yeah,
I went to the big size.
Yeah, it's fucked.
It's fucking sick. That's what that is.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to bring a girl over and then she like comes into my room and she sees a big poster of Gilnor. She's like, oh, that's cool. What is that, Game of Thrones? RuneScape.
Sit down for a minute.
That's where you buy stuff with the Grand Exchange. I like to mine iron ore there. Like, I don't know.
Well, obviously, if you use that voice, you ain't making it sound cool at all.
Yeah, I mean,
but
they wouldn't even want to go into my room.
If you had like a nice speech set up for it, you know what I mean? Imagine a world where you could do it. I guess, I don't know. I don't have anything set up right now.
Yeah, it's really expensive. But you know what? If you want it, go check it out. Might be your thing. Got some extra cash lying around. You want some nice poster, some nice artwork. We call it artwork. It does look really nice though.
It looks badass.
Yeah.
And the biggest one, the $120 one, gives you a space to put a frame. Boom. They're like, you better be putting this on a frame.
No, that's just so you can put your thumbtacks in it and just stick it to your wall without fucking up the actual. No, so you can cut it. You can trim it down to the proper size.
Yeah, probably.
Take
Color it in if you want to.
Yeah. Put some notes on for later.
Surprised they don't. Well, they probably will, but have some of the Jagex employees sign it. Sell it for another $100. But
yeah, anyways, moving on. So the Premier Club 2019, little Premier Club action we got. So it is back, and as always, is the best value yearly membership package that we offer. On the topic of membership, I found out this month that I'm now paying like $10 a month for my membership.
Shit, boy.
Yeah. I don't know how Jagex duped me into like or the $11 meme. I'm getting
You're getting close to it.
I'm getting grandfathered into the new payment method somehow. Anyways, that kind of ticked me off.
But a lot of things ticking you off this week.
Yeah, so you can redeem your Bonds Acclaim Premier Membership Club as well, or the Premier Club as well. And please note the players' membership bought via the App Store or Google Play are not eligible for the Premier Club. Yeah, they have a little support article. If you're wondering why, you can go to that. Everyone who joins the Premier Club has a chance to win a Razer Phone 2 and 6 months of free membership.
Shit.
They have a link on how to join the thingy. In other news, they fixed a pathing issue when trying to climb a rope at the observatory. The inventory icons of the Mystic Mist Battle Staff and Mist Battle Staves have been tweaked slightly. The account management interface for Game Center accounts now redirect players to prompt them about linking an email to their account so they can play on desktop too, which is much needed. I think that's good. So beforehand, you'd play mobile and you'd be stuck on mobile, and players got really upset about that. The Justisar laggards have had their inventory icons slightly adjusted to avoid confusion between them and the ancestral robes, because I think we talked about before how they were like identical.
Yeah, not something I've noticed, but for obvious reasons.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for updates. We still have some more stuff to talk about though. All right, so next up we have, I guess Dilz teased about it, but the Player Workshop. The Player Workshop. So if you're from the UK or maybe you're from both, the US, you might be eligible for this. If not, well, that sucks.
It does suck.
Yeah, the Aussies out there, a little pissed.
What about us? Damn it.
Yeah, Canadians getting sided.
We're part of the Commonwealth. What's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. We're getting singled out. So, earlier this year, they had that survey we talked about.
Yep.
They asked really specific questions.
A big survey, too.
Yep. And, yeah, they thank you for doing that. they've been reviewing and crunching the numbers, and they still want more stuff. They need to find out. They want some more information out of the players. So throughout the next year, they'll be launching a number of research projects, getting your feedback in new and creative ways. Look out for announcements on the Old School RuneScape news page, Twitch, your player inbox, email, Twitter. It's a really weird way to say that they want to collect more data on the players, especially after mobile.
Well, it seems like they got some projects that they want to do something more with the RuneScape brand. So they want to get as much data as they can so they can be like, this is what we should do. And maybe that last one was like, it gave them a lot of options, but they need to narrow down those options. If they want to make a RuneScape for PlayStation 4 and Xbox game, a single-player offline game, they need to make sure it's the right choice.
So I think what the issue was is that they got a lot of responses, and from like a small company, they're like, we can't read all these. This is like, we can't do this every year to figure out what the players want. This is way too much like short answers and stuff like that. I think they want to like collect data in like more of an efficient way, and that's what they kind of mean by like experimenting and all that stuff, finding out, you know, what the players enjoy in the game and what we do, blah 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 blah. But yeah, anyways, so the first thing that they're gonna do is announce a workshop. So running in early December in the UK and USA, those who took part, in the survey, will some of them, I guess I should say, I shouldn't say everyone, but some of you who took part in the survey will be invited to a studio to provide feedback and thoughts, contributing to where we go next as a game. Those who attend will also be provided food, drinks, and I can't say this fucking word.
Remunerated?
Yeah, remunerated, which is like reimbursed, but a different way of saying it. They'll be paid as a thank you. They don't specify, but I'm assuming you still have to like get an Airbnb and fly out. They're not going to like house you and everything like that.
Well, they did say those who take part will be invited to a studio. So it might not be their studio. It might just be, let's say they do it in the US and they might want to invite a bunch of people, you know, like LA.
To go to Bethesda studio or something.
Or just like, maybe they'll fly out some Jagex employees to go set up in some studio.
Maybe.
To do some, what do they call it? Where they bring a control group?
Yeah,
sort of
focus
thing?
group.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there will be emails and inboxes sent out in the next, there will be emails and inbox messages sent out in the next couple days. A random selection of players.
Cool.
Yep, if you're interested, fill out a short form and provide contact details. A Jagex representative will call and invite you to one of their workshops. If you don't get this email or inbox message, they have loads more of this type of stuff planned for the next 12 months.
It's kind of exciting.
The way they word it is probably very misleading. If anything, it's like a focus group. If it's not like Dilz step in here. Okay, so we're gonna rework Slayer. How do you think? It's not gonna be that. It's gonna be like, how old are you? How long have you played RuneScape? Have you ever quit the game? Why? You know what I mean? Like You're gonna sit there, fill out a questionnaire, give them some answers. They'll take the data, and you'll probably just like eat.
But it's something that if I got called to do it, I'd be kind of excited to go do it. Mainly because I'm like invested in this game.
Yeah,
and it'd be just cool to see.
It'd be definitely a neat experience.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, this game's pay to win, and I helped. You know? No way! 400k agility experience per hour? They took my advice?
That's why I highballed and said 1 mil per hour.
Yeah.
Because I knew they were going to drop it lower than that. Gotta leave some room for negotiations.
Yeah. I guess we can talk about the PvP All-Star Champions and some future updates. So I guess we'll start off with the update. But the Cabos Lowlands that we have mentioned a couple times and talked about after RuneFest, they want to release that in January. They don't specify when exactly, but the Farming Guild, new Slayer creatures, new Master, and a new level 75 Slayer monster.
95?
That's what I meant, sir, yeah. And yeah, so later on they'll be pulling Song of Elves, the Grandmaster quest, and the release of Prifdinez, and new armor. They're going to pull warding at some point. After that, I guess, and the brand new skill they want to bring into the game.
That'll be interesting. I want to see how that pull does.
I want to see how they've changed their idea, because as of right now, we know it won't be received too well.
It's hard to say. There's some people who are like totally against it. Some people are like, yeah, this is a good idea.
Yeah, but like you would know if it was gonna pass. Like if you make an ask Reddit, or if you ask Reddit, or if you go to like the GE, like it's at best 50-50, which isn't good enough, right? They're definitely, whoever's in charge of that is definitely trying to find a way to like change it, right? Because it's not all completely set in stone. They do like to change how things work depending on feedback.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm actually really excited to see like once these next polls come out, how they've like changed them or improved them. So with the PvP event, it'll be hosted on the ESL at ESL UK. It's where they do all their other Deadman events. I think it's the exact same studio.
True. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, 24th of November from 5 p.m. GMT to Saturday.
Yep.
So what is that? I have no idea what time that is for EST, but
I think it's 12 noon, but let's check.
Yeah, that's usually when it is, right? Deadman mode and stuff?
Something like that. Sometimes it starts at like 2 and stuff, but this thing's going on for 6 hours.
Yeah.
So it's quite some time. And they did create a brand new website just for this event where you can kind of go look at bios of some of the players who are going to be facing off. Yeah. OSRS pages are not found yet, but
the website's made, but it's not yet ready.
Some of them are. So the way this format is going to be going, the way the tournament's kind of laid out, is there are 4 different groups with 4 different players. Each player in a best of 3 format will be facing the other 3, basically, like a round robin style. The players are going to have to face off with different PvP tiers, or different rules, I guess. These are 1 defense, 45 defense, and 70 defense. For each round, players are able to select a +1 item of their choosing. This item, whether it be armor or weapon, is incredibly powerful compared to the other gear, making their choice crucial for their success in the tournament. The winner of each match will be awarded points, and the 2 highest placing members of each group will progress to the knockout phase, beginning with the quarterfinals. For this, the players will take the main stage for a single elimination knockout until one player conquers all and is crowned the first All-Star champion. So that's kind of interesting. I wonder what they mean by they get to choose a +1. Maybe they have to choose like, hey, you get an Abbey Whip or a G Maul or a Dark Bow. You know what I mean? Like, they have
Vesta Longsword.
Yeah, so it's either going to be like the PvP armors that we saw in Deadman mode, or maybe it's going to be like some of the most popular PvP weapons we see right now, and they're kind of, you have to choose. Do you want the G Maul, or do you want an AGS? Or do you want like a DDS? You know what I mean? Like, they have a few of them we have to choose between, because G-Maul is one of the most popular weapons, but if you don't get off that kill, now what? Now you're hoping you can exhaust them of their food.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have bios for each of the players. It's kind of cool.
I've been PKing for 13 years. Watch out, kiddos. Is that type of stuff?
Yeah, kind of. So the first one is skill specs. Skill Specs is a wild card in this competition, admitting that he often takes crazy risks. His best build is a 70 defense, which he PKs on every day. He's best known for his Deadman Rage compilations and trademark carols in Darok's PKing setup. He knows Ditterbitter and Manked are players to watch given their experience advancing through Deadman mode tournaments. But his real rival is Torvesta, who he believes lives just to make his life a living hell. And then they got like stats. So he's 23 years old. Nationality is British. Rival Torvesta. He's scared of Ditterbitter. Specialty 70 defense. PvP history. Epic. Okay, I don't know what that means.
That's epic. That's very epic.
Torvesta has played OSRS since its release, but he only started PKing in 2012, when he began making videos. He's considered himself to be strong in any situation, having practiced on all builds many times. He's able to hybrid, tribrid, and PK on every type of build, and has learned valuable skills from playing every single Deadman mode. He has a long-standing rivalry with Skill Specs, and initially didn't want to boost Bodhi's ego by admitting he's scared to battle him. There's a lot here. I'm not going to go through all 16 of them, but like, you go to, and then I'm looking at Ditterbitter. His PvP history is legendary. I don't really know the tiers, so it's like, is Epic more than Legendary?
No, dude, Legendary's the best.
But then why would the other ones be
Epic is purple. Legendary is orange, you know? Like, if you think of like WoW or other games, that's like they're doing that tier. You know what I mean? Like maybe
Well, and I'm gonna go to Skidler. His PvP history is just good.
go to Mr. Mammal.
Noob. PvP
Yeah.
history is noob.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Mammal began playing RuneScape in 2006, becoming experienced in PvP through Edgeville PKing, using a Karazi sword to get easy kills, which boosted his confidence. Although he hasn't focused on specializing in particular areas, he prefers tanking opportunities within main builds, hoping he might get lucky with tanking specs and all-stars. He considers Foe to be his biggest rival in the tournament, with both having similar PvP experience and skill, but really dreads the prospect of fighting anyone with a mouse. Scared of everyone. That's his stats.
But yeah, okay, I think we get the picture. They have
They're kind of interesting though. So if you're into that stuff and you're like follow some of the Twitch and YouTubers, might be worth checking out because it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, they got some memes, some good memes in there. Hopefully it'll be fun. I'll be excited to watch it. I wonder how serious they're gonna make it because like there is money on the line.
So the best is when you go over their portrait, their picture changes a bit.
Yeah, like lights up.
No, they kind of move. They'll like twitch
Oh, do
a
they?
bit.
Any of them like do thumbs up or like the finger guns?
Well, Bodhi's looking, and then when you put it over, he's like laughing and looking to the side.
Are they all doing that?
No, they're all doing different things. It's quite entertaining.
Oh.
Anyways, not the most important, but I do think they're going to take this very seriously because of the way they have this website is kind of cool. It's like, I don't know, they're doing a lot of work behind it, and as we've seen with the past Dead Man Mode tournaments, they've been going all out on them, making them like super professionally well done, and each new tournament gets better and better, just like the production value. So I think they're going to take, well, I mean, I'm going to assume, I think it's safe to assume that they're going to take the stuff they've learned from Dead Man Mode and the production value they put there and do it in this venue as well, but maybe more so because this is a new type of tournament. Dead Man Mode's fun, but I always consider it like an event over like a tournament. You know what I mean? It is a tournament, but it's you know, there's always DDoS. You know what I mean? There's all these issues and stuff, but this type of tournament with PvP, they're going to make it like, they might actually try to make it esports. Because if you were going to do an esport in old school RuneScape, you would do it this way with PvP.
Yeah, it just kind of annoys me that like every game tries to be esports now.
Because it works though. It works for publicity. And it's fun. It is fun to watch. You know what I mean? And we're all getting older now, so it's exciting to like watch this stuff. Maybe when you're younger and stuff, you're not as invested, but now you're, you know, at least for me, it's kind of cool to see this shit. And I went to Montreal like a year ago, and they had all these esports bars. They had a couple of them, and you go in there playing Overwatch on the TVs. I don't watch Overwatch, but I was like, you know what? I can
Don't worry. Recently, no one watches Overwatch. That game is dying so hard.
Damn, really?
It makes me so happy. I hate that game.
Why? That game looks fun.
Let's not go into it. I've complained. I've complained more than enough.
Bit of a Debbie Downer episode.
I'm going to be upbeat for the next 8 episodes.
But anyways, like, when I went to those esports bars, I was like, you know what? I can see the appeal. I can kind of get behind this. It was a lot less lame than I kind of thought it would be. And I don't watch Overwatch at all.
I don't think, like, RuneScape PvP being esports is, like, lame or, like, cringe, depending on how old you are and what words you want to use. I just, like, I understand why every game tries to go esports. I completely understand why, because, like, you make a lot of, like, it's good free advertising.
And it's a fresh market. Like, and it's growing.
The issue is that, like, it starts to take away from the game, though. Every game that tries to go esports, it comes off as, like, it's the downfall of the game. I don't think Jagex is trying to make RuneScape an esport. I think they're trying to make it, like,
It might be for, like, the dedicated player who, like, maybe, like, League of Legends, you might have enjoyed it before it went all esports. But for the game as a whole, esports has done a lot for it, and it's made it like such a big thing.
Well, like League, you can't use League as an example because the game has always been based off its esport.
But like look at when they first started doing esports to how they're doing their esports now. They have like Blizzard owns a stadium for their esports.
Yeah,
like esports is like a huge, I'm saying that word a lot, but it's a huge market. It's growing where a lot of these things, go back 5-10 years ago and, you might laugh at it a bit more. But even in my, I'm in a radio broadcasting class and there's people there who want to go into esports, so announcing.
You I see what you're saying, but it's very North American. Like Counter-Strike and stuff and StarCraft have been huge in Europe and Korea.
But it's spreading now. That's what I'm saying. It's a growing market where it grew and now it's over here. And you have companies who are investing in their own stadiums because they see value in Blizzard having their own personal stadium. They can host these events.
Yeah. So it's weird. So maybe I'm biased because we're from North America, but so in Europe and Korea, right? They'll have one or two main games that are popular, and then they have a strong esports industry, right?
Sure.
So Europe, easy example is Counter-Strike. From 1.6, it had a pretty strong presence. Even Quake and whatnot have had strong presences in its lifespan because of its esport. But that's just the nature of the game, right? Same with Dota and League of Legends, right? They're kind of CS, not really. CS, it kind of just happened. I guess fighting games but there's some games that are made with esports in mind nowadays, as opposed to some games that were made, but then it was perfect for esports, right? Like StarCraft.
Sure.
They definitely weren't making StarCraft 1 being dude, we're gonna just put all this money into BattleNet and you know what I mean? Get these crazy, maybe I'm totally wrong though, but it kind of spread to North America with esports, and then every game was just we're doing that.
Because that's what I'm saying, it's a growing market, and other games are seeing the value in having their game also being able to be used as an esport, because it's very profitable. For
it to be profitable though, you have to change the foundation of it, right?
Some, yeah. But
that's not gonna happen to RuneScape. Obviously not.
They're not gonna change the foundation.
They're not gonna change you always hit with your Gmaul specs. They're not gonna it's all skill, no luck. Because RuneScape it is very RNG. Even though you can beat someone 10 out of 10 times by making the right decisions, but they could be in Mystics. You throw an AGS spec, they have the wrong overhead, you hit a 0.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That can happen a lot, right? It's RNG, but I hope they do it in a fun way. This. They have the only reason I'm bringing this up is this is I like it, but I don't want them to go any further than this type of an attitude.
You don't want them to have weigh-ins and a press conference where they talk to the fighters.
So last week I had a very different opinion where I'm I don't want it to be like this, and you're dude, why not? And then afterwards I'm no, yeah, why not? I don't want I would prefer it to be more of a fun event, after thinking about it for a week.
Yeah.
Or maybe 2 weeks whenever we first talked about this. And they do have the little funny things with how they do the bios, where it's serious, but tongue in cheek.
They're having fun with it.
Yeah.
Who the hell wants to join a tournament and you're labeled as a noob, PvP history noob, and you're well, that's bullshit.
Yeah. So yeah, I am kind of flip-flopping hard on how I said it was kind of silly just to throw streamers in, but now I'm now I understand why they're doing it after seeing, you look at the site and after, I guess the way they've talked about it and brought it out makes me a little bit more excited, but hopefully more of this, less dead man. That's what I'm saying.
I like them both. I hope they just use this to supplement.
I like the DDoSing and all that stuff that happens, the drama we get to talk about. That's my favorite thing about Deadman, typically. It's Wook's winning. Air quotes.
It is fun to see, but I do thoroughly enjoy watching these events. They do a good job, and they're just fun to watch. And yeah, I am excited for this one. If it was later in the day, hell, man, I'd be looking for an esports bar to see if they can get this plan.
True. Instead of making predictions about who's going to win and whatnot, because I don't really think they care who wins. How do you think production everything's going to be? In terms of because the main reason or the main thing they stated with this is that they made the mistake with Deadman mode with kind of just fucking esports, let's go, let's just try and make it work. And they realize it's not really ever going to happen with Deadman mode because DDoSing, boxing, botting, right?
Generally, yeah, but they did things to how can we make this
better for the viewer?
Yeah, exactly.
But it took them 2 years or whatever. Like, it took them like a lot of dead man modes to get the right resources.
Yeah.
The right tools to like make, because the heat map is cool and how all that works is pretty cool.
Well, yeah, and then the way it is now, it's, you look at it and it's just like, wow, they've done such a good job with it.
So, do you watch any like other esport games? Like, do you know like Summit, like the Summit, like Smash Summit? If you like Smash Bros, or
not really. Like, I've
the CS:GO summits. Those are like,
I might peek and watch some of them for a bit, but I don't sit down and watch like a full on thing. So just
So like, let's say you're into like CS:GO, right?
Sure.
They have they have like their major tournaments, which are like super like intense, millions and millions of dollars put in production value. But then they have things like, it's like CS Summit or something, but it's more of like, it's like in a house. Like,
okay.
the tournament's hosted like it's like they're in someone's house, the big house, but they have like people sitting on a couch in the living room and they all talk, and it's like very like fun.
Yeah.
So do you think it's gonna be similar to that, or do you think it'll be like a intense production? They're in suits, sitting standing or behind some sort of analyst desk, like with like the weather map, being like, oh, well, you can see he stood here and barraged at this angle and ran under him.
I think it is going to be like that. They're going to make it be like, have a serious setup. They're going to have suits and stuff because they have it for Dead MMO now as it is.
Yeah.
But this is Jagex we're talking about, and they seem to always have some sort of fun when they're doing these things. They understand, like, RuneScape, you can't be 100% serious. You got to have some fun with it and be a bit silly, and they do it even with the way, they insert their personality into it. If you ever watch the Deadman Mode tournaments, they'll have Mod Ayiza there, and he's showcasing his
favorite artwork of Neve.
Or he's like on the tablet showing, a preview of the mobile client, and he can't answer the security questions because he's getting them wrong.
Yeah,
but it's not really an embarrassing moment. Yeah, necessarily. They just have fun with it. They laugh about it and they move on.
So what I really want is I want these players to like have headsets glued, like if they're 1v1ing each other, and open mic, and they have to talk to each other and see like they're just blowing into mics, or if they're shit talking or something, like something stupid, or if they're just like being casual about it.
Yeah,
you can listen in on them or something.
Should be good though. So yeah, this Saturday, check it out. I think I'm gonna be working for some of it. But if it's slow at work, I'm going to watch it while I'm working. Yeah,
I might not be around, but I'll catch the VOD.
So I may not be able to hop onto the Discord for a viewing party, but if I can, I definitely will.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that's it for the news. Is there anything else you want to go into?
Not so much for news, but I guess we have some community stuff to talk about. So Mod Ayiza made a post on the 2007 Scape subreddit saying, hey all, after discussing with the team this morning, I'd like to present 3 topics that we're currently investigating. 1, pulling the desktop spellbook filter again, but this time not including the ability to increase the size of the spell icons. So the things that you had complained about last week, and I think the week before too. The second one is limiting the effectiveness of essence runners at the Iranian altar.
I'm going to be honest. I did like 1 or 2 runs on release and was like, oh, I guess I don't enjoy. I prefer doing nature runes or something. So I didn't even know this was like an issue.
I enjoy the Iranian altar. I liked it way more than nature runes. But what you'll see is there's a few ways they do it. Sometimes a guy will just stand at the altar and he'll say, I'll pay you 50k for an inventory of rune essence. So people trade it, and he just sits there and he just keeps crafting them. He gets a lot of people trading because it's great money for you too. And another way I've seen it is you go into some Discord and a guy's running it and they pay you by the hour, like 2-3 mil to just continuously run them rune essence. And
for you low levels are looking to make money,
it can be good money, and it's great experience if you have the money for it. It's the best experience, and it's like, I don't know, I don't have the actual numbers here, but it's like it's the fastest way of training rune crafting, but hella expensive. And they're starting to wonder if they should somehow do something to prevent, running essence and being such a good experience. Don't know how I feel about that one because rune crafting is a shitty experience, so it'd be nice to make it faster, but you're also paying such a high premium for it.
So my question is, how? Because I can't think of anything besides not allowing you to trade in there.
So the only thing I could think of is having more NPCs. Because what they do is they hide behind the altar where the NPCs stop going. Maybe having either more NPCs or maybe you're taking a little bit of damage every couple seconds, and this way would prevent you from going through the trade menu and like canceling the trade.
Yeah, if they add more NPCs, you just have another account box or like attack them.
Yeah, but there's NPCs there now, but they could like I don't know. Maybe there's NPCs that hits everyone around the area because it's multi.
But that also punishes other players who aren't running. So like it's kind of hard to like if this is an issue, it's an issue for like the EHP nerds that are upset they lost EHP over like these guys at like stake probably, and they have like a couple bill. I'm like, sure, give me 99 rune crafting, fuck it. Which you could argue people doing that would be good for the economy because money sink.
Yeah,
but in all seriousness though, like they can't or they shouldn't make changes on it that will affect the average person using it. I mean, it's your preferred way of training rune crafting. Did that ever affect you? People buying essence?
Well, not affect me. Yeah.
But like, who does it really affect?
The only thing it did was make me go,
huh?
In the CC, hey, anyone want to make some easy money?
Yeah. So they have if they're gonna change it, like I really can't think of a way. Maybe you can't trade the same person twice. Like, well, how are you gonna go about that? That fucking over everyone who does it.
I don't know.
No coins. You can't bring coins in to the altar.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Yeah, they're trying to get feedback on it to see if people care. Because like I'm sure there's as you said, the EHP community might not want that, and they're some of the more dedicated players too.
Yeah, I mean that would suck. Like doing lava runes for like hundreds or like not even hundreds. Let's say you're just going for 99, and you're doing hours and hours on lava runes, and then you find out like, man, I could have just like. It says I don't know how much more experience you're getting. Or if they're getting like 300k, I'd be like, yo, that's disgusting. They need to fix that ASAP.
But still, you're spending a lot of money to get people to do it for you.
Yeah.
Imagine paying one guy $2 million an hour to do this for you.
People buy like
that's one
torsos.
Guy. You're gonna want multiple people doing that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it to like Yeah, I agree with you. I don't see a problem with it, but I also don't know how much experience they're getting.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you could fix this. So I'm just going to say I'll agree with you.
Another reason why I think it's like okay is because running like runecraft running was been a thing since forever. Remember running laws?
Yeah, I mean they're world dedicated to running law runes.
Yeah. It's just people don't do it anymore because it's not good experience. And it's not a good way to get laws either. So it's kind of I don't know. Anyways, the third option was Iron Men using alts with cannons for better barrage tasks. So I guess they're using a way to like gather monsters for them, or maybe they're also using it to blast through tasks faster or something.
What tasks though? What tasks would you be cannoning outside? Like you can't cannon in these catacombs.
No.
No,
yeah.
I mean,
you can do it in Neve's caves, but not in catacombs.
Yeah, but you can't barrage in cave.
No.
Neve's cave.
Dagonoths and the lighthouse, maybe. I don't know.
But why would you ever want to do that as an Iron Man? You get the DKs. I guess you get the rings. You don't need to go back.
But it's experience, right? Not Dagonoth Kings, but the little guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, why wouldn't you just go do the Kings, though, is what I'm saying.
Well, maybe not there yet.
But you're barraging?
Maybe you just want the experience.
I don't know, it's weird. See, I didn't know, like, that was an issue as well. What happened since I started playing Warframe? Jesus.
But yeah, I don't know. If you're an Iron Man, you should be discouraged from interacting with other accounts.
I mean, yeah. Do you remember back in the day when you could have your main tank for you?
Yeah.
People were like, so it's not a big deal. It's like, and like I remember like outrage on how they changed it. It's like, well, what? I don't know. And at the time, I don't even think I PVM'd at all. Like no bossing.
Some people had outrage about them changing it, but a lot of people were saying like, yeah, this makes total sense.
Yeah, of course. People were like heavily abusing it though, sadly.
And the last thing was what you brought up, a new Runelite plugin. So I guess you're more familiar with this one.
OpenGL. If you use Runelite, you probably notice that you have an option to just use your GPU or some shit.
Smooth out everything, make better graphics, similar to...
Yeah, just but it's like better than OS Buddies. Pretty cool. Thought it was worth a mention because I mean everyone on Reddit was kind of gushing about it, and it does make the game look way better, especially like with animation smoothing and stuff. It feels more nice, I guess. I don't know,
but I'm totally down for a. I really liked OpenGL on Runelite or on OS Buddy. Main reason because it gave a skybox.
Yeah.
So if I can get a skybox, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't make certain monsters my entire click box, my entire screen, then I'm okay with it. OpenGL used to do that to me.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, the whole fucking box would be like Ice Demon. I'd be doing Xerix. And like the whole, like even my inventory would be Ice Demon as well. And you're just like, oh, and I'm dead. But yeah, I guess that's it for the community stuff.
That's it for the community stuff. So let's move on. Let's move on to some lore. As mortals of the Korend reach their death, their souls abandon the flesh temples they inhabited, leaving the flesh to suffer corruption and decay. The soul, however, does not decay. Released from the fetters of its flesh temple and from the constraints of the materials world, the soul is at last free. Mercifully, the soul is not left to wander aimlessly through the world. Instead, the soul altar calls it, reaching across the land to all the wandering souls of Korend, drawing them to the river. The river leads the souls through unchartable realms, transcending the plane of the world. Yet they are not abandoned to the force that might prey on them. The three-headed guardian is there as a protector, keeping them safe as the river flows beyond all knowledge. That was a snippet from the book Soul Journey found in the Arceus Library. This book speaks of the monster that guards the river that souls travel through when leaving the world and moving on to the afterlife. The River of Souls is an unchartable realm that souls use to travel from the realm of RuneScape into the soul altar that leads into the afterlife. The boss Cerberus was placed in this area to prevent souls from leaving the river and trying to return back to the mortal world. Within Cerberus's lair, there is an artifact called the Soul Bearer. This artifact is used to draw souls from one place to another, and it's what allows the souls to travel across the River of Souls. There has been one adventurer who was able to breach the Guardian's Cave. This human came in attempting to steal the artifact, to disrupt the souls that were traveling across this river into the afterlife. Naturally, Cerberus slew the adventurer. Within his lair, you will see the remains of his charred bones. When this artifact was damaged from this adventurer, this caused the binds that Cerberus had that tied him from protecting the river. He was now able to escape. Although a wealthy businessman who owned several apothecaries across Zaya at one time was looking to create the perfect potion, finding the most powerful and exotic herbs and weeds in the world. One day he was able to create a potion that began to pulsate and glow. When he took a sip of it, it made him feel, quote, like a million gold. However, moments later, his vision began to blur and his head began to throb. He would then collapse. Waking up, screaming in pain with blue foam coming out of his mouth, he was approached by 3 elders from the Arceus house. The elders, seeing this man being on the brink of death, offered to save his life. His vision began to disappear and he went blind. Horns began to grow on his head, and he was forced to take the role as the Keymaster. It was his duty to prevent Cerberus from leaving the River of Souls. So there they both sit. The Keymaster protecting the world of RuneScape from Cerberus, and Cerberus protecting the afterworld from mortals. Alrighty though, off to the Grand Exchange, is it?
I think so.
Cha-ching. There's a sound effect. And this is where we get to tell you a little bit about something we got going on. It's a something. So Audible is giving people who listen to this show 1 month free with a free audiobook if you go to audibletrial.com/wild, and you can get yourself, just sit at a free month and an audiobook. So hey, you can go listen to some books being read to you by some pretty decent narrators.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine most of them are pretty decent. I wonder if there's some shitty ones. That
Probably
might be fun.
not.
Might be fun to listen to though if there's some real bad ones.
Some guy with like really, really bad stutter.
Yeah, yeah. Or like English is his like third, like he's just learning it.
It's a book on how to speak English, but it's him trying to learn how to speak English.
He's learning it while he's reading it to you.
Or her.
Yeah,
or
him or her. Yeah, him or her. That's true. Anyways, off to Patreon. If you want to support our show, there is one way you can do that, and that's by supporting us on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/thewildernesspodcast. Yeah, I've been putting up some of the school projects I've been doing on there because some of them are kind of just silly. If you're on our Patreon, you can go check those ones out. They're just little small things, kind of irrelevant to old school RuneScape. But I had Deagin voice act for me for one of the stories, and he got to play a female.
Yeah.
Anyways, our supporter of the week is Ty Piers. So thank you very much, good sir, for supporting the show. We greatly appreciate it. You are a gentleman and a scholar. No, wait. You are a gentleman and a scaper.
Nice.
Of course. Yeah, we've gone through our mobile app idea, our microtransactions for the show, like a microtransaction store, our Wild Bucks idea, like a currency, and cryptocurrency. We're kind of exhausting all of our ideas. We're pretty average ideas men, I like to think. No hard hitters, but they're all pretty average, right? If we ever make a Wild Boys vape juice, we will send out for samplings. Blood, sweat, and tears flavor.
Scape chair. It smells and tastes like a chair after RuneScaper's been playing on it.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
We'll call it Link's chair.
That's a catchy name. Yeah, we just have RuneScapers sit in a chair for a solid month. A week might actually do it.
No, we'll just sneak over to Link's Titan's house. We'll get a sample of his chair. We'll go to some science facility.
Recreate it?
Not even. We'll just cut out like the bottom, like the cushion of his chair that he sits on. And we'll get them to figure out exactly what chemicals and everything that would produce a similar flavor and smell. And then you can vape it.
And then we can get a focus group.
You can just make it taste like bread and lasagna. That's all he eats.
Bread?
Lasagna, yeah.
Lasagna's pretty good. It's another idea. We'll chalk that one up too.
Yeah.
We'll add it to it. Anyways, thank you very much for supporting the show. And thank you to every single person who also supports the show. We love you all. And yeah, I guess we'll move on to our podcast news stuff, show news stuff. So I've been looking around to see if this was a problem for other RuneScapers, but I had 2 people message or post on the Discord, brought up some interesting stuff in regards to the mobile client. So the first one was from Jamos. I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but anyways, so he had told me he was on his Iron Man on the free-to-play worlds. He noticed that he was eligible for a free week, and he had opened up the Bond store, and somehow, I guess he went to claim his free week, but then the fingerprint scan popped up, and he had his finger on there, and it accepted the payment through it. Now, I went back and I tried this myself to see if it would happen on my end, and it didn't. So it could be an iPhone thing, or maybe they have a setting set up so that their cell phone wallet app or whatever automatically gets prompted when purchases like that pop up. I checked on the subreddit and I saw nothing being brought up about it, and I feel like if this was a bigger issue that more people would see it. But it's interesting, and I've tried to look into it, but I'm going to continue to look into it because that's pretty big if it's something on Jagex's end.
That's just how mobile apps work. Like with my job, there's an app we use, and you have to use your thumbprint and stuff to navigate the app.
But if you went to go look at bonds, and then you click to just to see, you press the purchase bond thing, and then it automatically thumbprints, boom, and now you bought it. And you're just like, whoa, I didn't think I was confirming it right now.
Yeah, it's kind of, I've seen or heard a lot of mobile games do that, and we kind of said that stuff like this is bound to happen with mobile. But yeah, maybe that's part of the data that they're going to start collecting now, is how many people get tricked into giving out their credit card.
And how can we trick more? Anyways, on the same theme, Color Eyes on our Discord sent a picture of his login menu on Old School RuneScape Mobile, where it said, you have a pending transaction. Apply them to your account, and then it has apply or skip.
Okay.
So what he had said is, where the finger scanner is, he usually has one of his fingers on there. So it's possible he accepted a payment without realizing it. So then when he logged out and then logged back in, Maybe he wasn't logged in at the time or something, but it's asking him if he wants to accept that payment. So at least you're getting confirmation there, but there's 2 people there that are accidentally at least going through the process of purchasing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're playing mobile, be careful. Maybe disable that thumb scanner. That thing scares the crap out of me, but so I don't have that on my phone, but if you have yours, I don't know.
See, like, I have to have mine enabled, which sucks.
Yeah, it's
So I just
crazy.
I don't, you know what I mean? Don't want to do much in terms of interface with RS. Just like stick to doing agility on my phone or something.
Yeah, fair enough. But anyways, moving on, with the success of that Connect 4 tournament, we've been talking around and trying to plan something else that'd be fun to do as well. So we've got nothing set in stone yet, but we've had some suggestions of doing like a trivia night. So something like that could be a lot of fun. Send in your ideas as well, and if you're interested, keep your ears out. But hey, if you want to hang out with us in-game, it is WildCC. Our Twitter is @TheWildernessRS. Our Facebook is facebook.com/TheWildernessPodcast. We also have a separate group, but it's attached to the page. So if you want to join, if you like to discuss RuneScape things on Facebook, you could join that group there. And our email is thewildernesspodcast@gmail.com. And our Discord is linked on both Twitter and Facebook. And Deagin, you got some stuff you always like.
Twitch, Twitter, Deagin RS.
Yep. And my Twitch is the Dilz. I've only ever streamed that tournament, so no big plans to do it again. But for big events like that, I would like to stream them because that was pretty fun. Made it pretty enjoyable. But yeah, more updates in the future. And our song of the week, I'm going to choose. This is one that I thoroughly enjoy. It's Evil Bob's Island. Of course, it is a music track that is unlocked in the Evil Bob's random event, composed by Ian Taylor. Little fun fact: we did a giveaway, like episode 5 or something, for like a bond, and someone had to email us with the song that we had been playing at the end of them. And this is the song I used, so we're going a little far back there.
Nice.
Anyways, that about does it for us over here. Until next week for episode 112.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yeah, take care, guys. Dilz and Deagin signing off.